morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Today we're talking to Zachary from Imperial Triumphant, and I'm pretty jazzed about this because I'm a really big Imperial Triumphant fan, and I've been trying to get someone from this band on the channel for a while now, and it finally happened, and I'm so fucking excited, and I hope you enjoy this little conversation. Here we go again. Let's try this again. Alphaville has been out for a few months now, received glowing reviews from Metal Injection, Banger TV, Anthony Fantano, myself included. How do you respond to all of this praise and all of this accolation?
I mean, yeah, it feels great. It's always nice to work really hard on something that you really believe in, and something that brings you joy, and it feels good to know that others feel the same.
And how do you respond to people saying that the album is extremely difficult to listen to, that it requires time and patience?
I completely understand. It's not an easy record, you know. It's not junk food. This is an acquired taste, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of music that I listened to that when I first heard it I didn't like, particularly in the world of modern classical. And I did come from a metalhead background, so getting into avant-garde jazz and modern classical and even more avant-garde metal bands was, a bit of a learning curve, a bit of a slow process. But at least with Alphaville and our previous records as well, we try to create that sort of pull where you maybe first listen, you're a bit turned off by it, but for whatever reason, you feel yourself wanting to go back and listen to it again. So hopefully people, keep giving it a shot, because it definitely is worth the effort, I believe.
I mean, speaking for myself, those are my favorite types of records. Just maybe you don't like them at first, but with every listen, they grow more and more, and you find all these little details and concepts and ideas that you didn't notice before.
Yeah, man, it's so easy to make an album that's just easy to, just easy to nod your head to or tap your foot. But even if you're gonna do what we do, you have to push people.
Looking back, what would you say is your favorite track on the album?
Oh man, that's so hard. That's like picking my favorite child. It's funny though, because from inception to release, they really they change a lot, and my creative or imaginary concept of what it's going to sound like always changes, and it never ends up being what I thought it was going to sound like. So it's kind of tricky, like the early recordings, like 2 years ago from Atomic Age, were completely different than how it sounds now, so it's tough to say. But I could probably give you a better answer once we are able to start playing these songs live, and I can tell you which ones I enjoy more playing again.
Yeah, it's funny you mention Atomic Age, because I would say that's probably my favorite. It's just really disorienting and strange, and definitely, I would say personally, one of your strangest cuts.
It's definitely out there, and it's an interesting track because it's highly conceptual, and at the same time, we pushed really hard to make it feel like a song by bringing, and there's a lot of themes going on. Like, the main theme is really just almost every single riff in the song is based around the same rhythm. And it's just kind of reinterpreted different ways. Okay, now the bass is going to hold down that rhythm, or the drums are going to hold down that rhythm. So it's kind of an exercise in how can you rehash one idea, which is just a simple rhythm, in different ways and keep a song sounding insane. And people think it's through composed. It's not. It's very methodically thought out.
No, it makes it all sound very, like, paranoid and schizophrenic. kind of taps into the fears of the atomic age itself.
Certainly.
Speaking of, do you think there's anything thematically or conceptually about Alphaville that is made more poignant in these very bizarre and divisive times where, people are quarantined and there's riots and protests in the streets?
Yeah, I think it's, we're no longer singing about the dystopian future. It's the dystopian present now. That we're here. We've arrived.
Mm-hmm.
It's out there. And if you were to try to describe what's going on in America now to someone a year ago, they would have thought you were crazy.
I mean, for that matter, if you had even told me at the beginning of February or March, I might have told you were crazy.
Yeah, so it's I definitely think, yeah. And it's also, if you just watch the film Alphaville, you'll start to see these kind of interesting parallels between a film that was made, 70 years ago or whatever, and now, and how it all kind of ties in.
I noted as well in my review that the track City Swine, it kind of sounds like the narrative of a corrupt and ignorant figure who demands subjugation and is angered by dissent and differing views. Do you think that message is especially made more powerful with what's happening right now in the United States?
I mean, maybe. That's not... I mean, it's so funny that you say that because City Swine is definitely the track that everyone has worked really hard to try to interpret the lyrics, and I intentionally left them kind of open-ended by using the second-person perspective in my wording. So it's interesting to hear that that's how you took it, and I mean, if that's how you interpret the lyrics, then yeah, obviously it's similar to what's going on. But there's so much going on in that song that it's interesting because it definitely applies to a lot of people who interpret it to what they want to hear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I even felt that, like, yeah. I even felt that, like, the use of the taiko dramas was kind of like the character in the song literally trying to beat people down, like beat them into submission.
That's a great interpretation, man.
What other interpretations have you heard then? I'm curious.
I mean, it's just like different perspectives of life. People think I've heard people think it's like a anti-police sort of thing because it's like pigs, swine, cops sort of thing.
Oh,
I've heard
okay,
people
yeah.
say, it's about the rich and the dictators, the domination of them in New York and all these sort of things. And there's it's interesting to hear that because I kind of wanted it that way. Like I wanted people to be more participatory in their listening and feel like they could bring their own creativity or own imagination to these lyrics.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so I enjoy people interpreting it for themselves.
Absolutely. It encourages them to think a little bit more, especially when they hear views like, oh, well, I saw it this way and I saw it that way.
Yeah. God forbid anyone has to think.
No, I listen to Imperial Triumphant for straight up old school cock rock. I do not want to be challenged at all.
Yeah, just warm beers on a Friday night.
I don't want warm beers any night. It's got to be cold for me. You recently also opened for Behemoth during their virtual concert. Obviously, there's no way that anyone can tour for a while. I don't even think Lollapalooza, Coachella, they're all pushing festivals as far back as 2022. Are you planning to do more virtual concerts in light of all this?
I'm not sure. We've gotten a handful of offers since the Behemoth tour or the Behemoth show, but at the same time, it's tricky because it has to be done right, and we don't want to just do it like, oh, we're doing another show of like songs you've already heard on the last one, but you know, it's in our practice space or whatever. Like, that's just not how we want to present ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we really, if we were going to do it again, there would have to be a strong production budget so that we could really deliver an insanely high quality high quality project to our sorry, I'm in a hotel right now. I just watched my dog walk through the lobby and with no one holding the leash. Like, what is
just
he doing?
Wandering around.
Yeah, I was it has to be done right. We really want to deliver the highest quality product to our fans, and so it has. If the stars don't align, then we're not going to do it because we just, you know, it's different than playing, you know, in one location to one set of, you know, fans in one region. This is like a worldwide kind of thing.
Especially when that was a pretty great production. I mean, you had a trumpet player on stage with you. You were in this beautiful theater, and of course, Behemoth put on like a basically a full-blown rock concert in a castle or whatever that was.
Yeah,
they
knocked it out of the park. It was just like, yeah, it was a really, really great pairing and a great the stars really aligned on that one. And we're very, very proud of that. And if anyone missed it and is listening to this now, check out our Vimeo page. You can buy the full hour-long set of the show with 4 extra songs that we weren't able to, that didn't make the cut, and yeah, it's really, really, really well done.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. Is it like a concert film then, live album kind of deal?
Totally.
That sounds cool. I will have to check that out later because I did see the.
I'll send you the
link. Because I did see the free show, the one that obviously the one before the Behemoth one, but now I want to see the whole thing.
Yeah, that one got taken down because it's only up for 3 days. So now,
oh, okay, I see.
But we now offer the full hour version.
Okay, I'm pumped. I'll have to check that out. That's the closest I might get to a concert for a while.
Yeah.
And I guess speaking of the Devastation on the Nation tour canceled a couple weeks ago, I know that's probably upsetting, but I think something cool that came out of it. You made a post looking to collaborate with some other people for television, film, video games. With this in mind, is there
That's right.
Yeah. Is there any chance we get to see Imperial Triumphant scoring a movie or a video game in the future?
I hope so. This is kind of where we're trying to reach out and work.
Because I always thought that you guys had a great sound for like a really crazy messed up horror video game or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're pushing hardest on video games because it's the industry that's crushing it the hardest right now and is not as affected by COVID as, you know, even television and film is pretty tough, you know, considering, you know, you have to shoot in person. But, yeah, I just think we have a great cinematic sound and a really dramatic quality to our music. It's not just, do you want heavy metal music in your project? It's a little more hands-on than that. We all have degrees in composition and have done film scores before. So it's in our wheelhouse, and I think just, you know, instead of, I mean, we're definitely working on a new record, of course, but I just think instead of, since we can't tour, like, what's another way we can channel our creativity towards, and I think this would work really well for us.
I think it would be really exciting. I'm even looking at a comment here on that post. It's the top comment. You should score a BioShock-like game.
Yeah, man.
That would be.
I mean, we're open-minded. Whatever is possible, we can make it happen.
And you just mentioned you're also working on a new album. I guess under normal
circumstances. Well, I mean, we're not working on a new album, but we've definitely been messing around with some ideas and trying to stay sane by just creating some music together.
I mean, I understand. I mean, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't even think about releasing an album right after Alphaville, but these aren't normal
But if
circumstances.
someone comes in with a cool idea, why not, kick it around and see what it sounds like?
Mm-hmm. And I guess, speaking of new album, you've got a new album on the way from a new project, Folterkammer. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah. That's it's me on guitars, and I've got Brendan McGowan, who's a great actor, director, did the last 2 music videos of ours, directed them. On drums, one of my best friends, Darren Hansen, on bass, and then Andromeda Narsha, who does the choirs on like Transmission of Mercury and The Filth and stuff like that. She's a singer, and she's this incredibly classically trained Swiss opera singer. So we kind of doing like an old school Dark Throne style black metal with sort of Henry Purcell-esque German opera vocals.
Well, it sounds amazing. I heard the first single earlier today. I don't know that I've ever heard like black metal and opera together. I've heard some bands in the past.
Neither. That's why I wanted to do it. I was excited.
Mm-hmm. No, it's so cool. I remember, I don't know if they're still around, but I remember Diablo Swing Orchestra had an opera singer in their band, but typically this is not something.
We're not the first people to put opera vocals in metal, but I don't think anyone's done it in like the vein of like really like old school black metal, where the quality is raw, and we wanted it that way.
Definitely
and
not.
The arrangements and orchestration of the compositions are very contrapuntal, very classically based. All the music was written by my friend Darren, who we were roommates in music school together. So we all learned the same shit basically.
Fusing black metal with jazz, Imperial Triumphant, black metal with opera, Folterkammer. Are there any other black metal fusions I need to know about that you're working on in the future?
I mean, I've had a slew of like side projects. I did one like 5 years ago that was like black metal playing like old Russian folk songs.
Oh.
Because I got really into that music, and the compositions there are very unique, and I thought that sounded great. And then I did I have like so many ideas I want to try, but it's just kind of interesting to combine shit.
Do you ever get concerned about the reaction from black metal fans combining these genres together?
Well, I figure, I'm an American, so like anything I do is not going to have the same authenticity as a Norwegian black metal band. For real, we did a tour with this band, Nordjvel, and they were from Norway, and they were black metal, like modern black metal band from Norway, and we were all watching them, and they played just like classic old like black metal style. And we were watching them, and we were just like, these guys are crushing it because they have it in their fucking DNA. Like, this is, of course they're going to do a great job. This is what they do best. And that's why they call it Norwegian black metal. It's, it's very specific. And I think instead of trying to copy that or just let me just do a classic American thing, which is just do my own thing and draw inspiration and collaborate. And it's a very New York thing actually to do, like to just pull inspiration from other cultures and collaborate with as many people as you can. It's really, I'd say the greatest part about living in New York is that you have access to some of the greatest artists in the world because they all live there, and everyone is very excited to work with you, and it feels great to do that.
Is it safe to say then that New York still inspires how you write and perform music then?
Of course.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, New York is a grand inspiration for us all.
I mean, it was something, I remember when I heard Vile Luxury, and I remember hearing the saxophones and keyboards and trumpets, and that was one of the first things I thought right away. Like, I was like, oh god, these guys have to be from New York.
Yeah.
Like, something about it, just that New York jazz spirit and that improvisational, super technical, artsy approach.
That's pretty York. You know, it has been for the last 70, 80 years.
Mm-hmm. I've got one more question for you, and then I'll let you go. Are there any other big projects that we can expect from Imperial Triumphant in the near future? Perhaps music videos. We already mentioned live stream shows, but like,
there is a music video coming soon. I don't want to say too much about it, but it's coming very soon. So stand by. We've been working very hard on it. It should have come out in March, but we literally canceled the shoot the day of, because it was when coronavirus was worst it's worst in New York.
Oh geez.
And then we finally got to shoot it in August. So we're really, really happy and proud to finally unveil this creative idea we've had for so long. And definitely stand by. There'll be a big press release about that.
Am I allowed to, can I ask what song it is, what song the music video is for, or do I have to wait for that?
When's this interview gonna come out?
Possibly, I'm gonna check that myself. I think I wrote it down. Possibly Wednesday, October 5th, 14th.
Yeah, we could probably fucking say it. It's gonna be for Excelsior.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah, it's a ripper.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I feel special. I got a little sneak peek.
Oh, dude, it's all right. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Anything you want to say to people listening at home?
I just want anyone listening to say thank you for all your support. You know, everyone who's bought merch, bought the record. It definitely helps us who are, full-time musicians in this time where the industry couldn't be more fucked. So we really are grateful for all the help and support.
I'd say fucked is being generous at this rate.
Certainly.
But happy to hear you're keeping busy, happy to hear you're staying creative, and I look forward to seeing everything Imperial Triumphant has going in the future.
Oh yeah, man, we're staying busy. We don't look for any pity. We just got to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, thanks again, Zachary. You have yourself a great day.
You too, man. Be well.
And that's that. Booyah! I feel pretty satisfied with that. Granted, I'm biased, because I was in the video, but nonetheless, my opinion has to count for something, doesn't it? If for some reason you have yet to check out Alphaville, go fucking do that. Do that now. But more importantly, I suppose, if you're brand new to the Metal Meltdown and you liked what you saw here today, press this button right here for updates on the Metal Meltdown e-fucking immediately, and have yourself a fantastic fucking day.